The overall quality of life for artists has dropped tremendously. With AI devaluing pretty much every craft market by replacing the artists with quick and fast spitball machines, physical media sales being replaced with minimized streaming royalties, and the increased cost of living going up pretty much everywhere, I'm afraid for a lot of creators out there. Many people I know are having to pick up second jobs, which means having even less time to develop their craft and hustle their passion on the side. We're also in an age ruled by video games and social media, because why would an audience be interested in listening or appreciating the craft of an artist when they could just as easily post a funny tweet or roleplay as a virtual foot soldier where they get to be the star? Plus, the internet has provided an overwhelmingly huge library of hyped up artists, TV shows, movies, music, and literature to a point of oversaturation. If there's no possible way to keep up with everything, why even try? And considering the material circumstances, it's rare to find family support as well. I've heard from more than one person that if they had dropped their art to have picked up a more profitable profession, they don't think their families would have anything to say to them. I myself have had instances with family members who have said some pretty remarkably disrespectful things about what I do or what I think is important. For instance, there was one family member who I was staying with as we were both going to the same university. We were driving around running errands. We were listening to the intro of some David Thomas CD where David Thomas is doing his shtick, you know, his goofy, absurdist, whatever, and we were laughing. I thought we were having a good time because the intention of a lot of his shtick is comedic. So then later we're eating at a Panda Express and there's this song coming on. I don't remember what the song is, but we thought the song was pretty generic and stupid. And anyway, after we had an exchange about the song playing, and he said, yeah, well, we think this is bad, when in the car we were listening to or whatever his impression was. And I was just like, wait, what do you mean? We were just in the car laughing about it together. I was with you. This was less than 5 minutes ago. That's like walking into a comedy movie like Step Brothers and then laughing the whole time and then walking out to say, yeah, that movie was so bad, I was laughing the whole time. Like it's a comedy movie. That's supposed to make you laugh, but he still chose to take that one conversational opportunity to put an unfamiliar art beneath him. And while I'll admit that example's pretty mild, just a result of reckless conversation, I'll give you a more intentional one. There was another family member I had who's older and was bringing up to me the up-and-coming AI actress Tilly Norwood. Now, I was skeptical that much would even come out of that, and I was about to tell him that, and then he looked right in my eyes with this little smirk saying, yes, that means there's no more actors halting production to get to their trailer, no more actors making statements embarrassing themselves in half the country, getting in the way of producers giving people what they want. Which is, you know, definitely a rabbit hole anti-woke Hollywood take, but I was essentially pretty chilled about how confidently and bitterly he was in dismissing the right for actors or public personalities to just share opinions, as if all human beings should just be apathetic robots. And he literally knew I'm an artist myself who's more or less trying to make it, and he still looked at me in the face and said, yeah, thank God robots are taking your jobs. Now, what concerns me about the attitudes implied by both of these conversations is that artists who do stuff that get your attention do it just for the sake of attention. And suggesting that if their work is just for attention, then it must be intrinsically shallow or stupid, characterizing artists as either naive or narcissistic, which is also like, you know, kind of proven to also be true. I'd say at this point, at the end of the Me Too climate, we have a right to be at least suspicious of the intentions of celebrities after so many public scandals have come out from icons who have betrayed our trust. But on that note, I have definitely run into more than a few people who have just been thoroughly embittered and humiliated by life. that they actually seek to compensate their dissatisfaction by embittering and humiliating others, or simply discourage aspiring creators to compensate for their insecurities. And in my experience, this has been especially common for angry or insecure men, since I think one toxic trait of masculinity is the sense of losing one's manhood and the need to take that manhood back by tearing somebody else down. Like, it's a tough pill to swallow, but some people out there want you to fail. But I say all this just to say to my fellow creators, believing in things is important. Believe in art, believe in yourself. All this cynicism is so present because it's no secret to anyone that life can kinda suck. You will catch every hint the earth can throw at you that you are not important, that you have no voice to speak with, and very little agency to change your environment as you see fit. And that's why I think the hardest part to making art isn't the marketing, it's to have the courage to believe the opposite. Believing that we still have a place to show ourselves at our best at the right moment. And you know what? Those who would say this faith is arrogant, immature, or irrational would still be right, but only because I think human beings are irrational. Every day we believe in things that are purely conceptual, cognitively dissonant, or based purely on emotion. And I don't say that as criticism, because I think embracing this part of humanity is exactly what the arts are for. In fact, this is why a lot of my favorite art is either baffling or ambiguous. Just take a look at almost any David Lynch film, and there will be a scene that will make you question what he was thinking. And the reason I love this is because it showcases how unpredictable inspiration can be, how a craftsman can find sentiment in even the most cryptic or mundane subjects or images. And this relates also to why I dislike so many conversations that boil down media criticism to a binary of, did you like it? Yes or no. Just think of the closest and longest relationships with people you've had in your life, and all the memories that come associated with it. There's a whole pool of conflicting emotions that you carry with that person. And I honestly believe that some of the best art can trigger so much compounded emotion across a whole spectrum, sometimes even contradictory feelings occurring simultaneously. And furthermore, in reference to how we as artists can beat AI, I'm reminded of a quote from Pablo Picasso from an interview with William Fifield in 1964. "Computers are useless. They can only give you answers." Without asking or provoking questions, art loses the crucial element of surprise. The platform to be unpredictable and operate solely on the basis of creative amusement, rather than generic pre-existing standards that a calculator can spit out. Plus, frankly, there is very little creative control in the stylization of what an AI can generate. And often the style is what sets the tone for most art. So to any creative people still watching this now, I beg you, please don't stop believing in yourself and never lose that spark to be ridiculous. Those impulses to follow your euphoria when acting on your passion is exactly what makes art so inspiring to people in the first place. Even I personally have been beaten by this economy and may have to relocate from Nashville to live with my family until I get back on my feet. I lost my technical writing job to an AI system in May, and I may have to study a new field of education to get a job for better income. And I say this knowing I'm not special at all in this circumstance. Many artists and creators are having to do the same. But just please take solace in the fact that there are people out there who recognize the courage it takes to believe in yourself and what you're doing. To never lose faith that one day you will find solidarity with the right audience who are out there waiting for someone just like you. This is Colton Basinger. Thanks for watching.